So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your quarter yard and you're going to open it up in front of you, right side facing up. Also, if you have a directional print like I do, you want the bottom to be closest to you and the top going away. If you do have that optional piece, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to run it right. You're running the raw edges, so the fold edges up, but the raw edges are down here, flush with the bottom edge of the fabric. Another tip that I like to do is I like to work from the middle of the fabric to the outside. That way, if fabrics are different widths like this is, you have them amortized. What's the word for averaged between the two? Fabric should be about 45, but depending on the loom, it comes out in different widths, so you can't always control that. So we have all our rail edges here. You're going to open up your 3/4 of yard. If your 3/4 yard has a print, you want the print to go down so that the right sides are touching one another. Mine does not. It's easier if it doesn't. And so I just need to make sure that my raw edge goes flush with this bottom edge here. And like I said before, there was a difference in the width of these fabrics, so I'm just going to kind of average it between the two. You are going to start from the middle here, and you're going to pin. When you pin, you want to make sure, I have 4 layers here because I have the 3/4 of yard, my folded edges, and then my quarter yard. You just want to make sure all 4 are even, and then you pin perpendicular to the edge that you will be sewing. So I'm going to work here, pin about every 6 inches, working as I go to make sure all those edges are even. This will take your middle schoolers longer than it takes me or you, and that's okay, especially if you share machines. Kids finish this step at different times, so you don't have a lot of waiting for machines. Another tip if you're working with middle schoolers, especially if you're teaching it as an exploratory, so just for one unit with other modules, is I just kept all the machines threaded with white, and then they could go to any machine to sew. Okay, so working again from the middle here to this edge.
How long on average of a project do you think this is for a middle school kid? Or is it hard to say?
A week, maybe more. Again, it helps if you have the fabric cut by somebody else or you cut it yourself when you begin.
So it's at least a couple hours of lab time for them.
Yeah. And really, there's a lot of variability. Like sometimes, like one kid will wind up making 3 pillowcases and another will also make 1. I'm demonstrating this to you with, we're gonna sew a French seam, which involves you sewing each seam twice, but that was another place you could differentiate. So the first students to get done pinning, you would have them sew a French seam, but the students who were a little further off, you would only have them sew once. Okay, now you're gonna start at the top and you're gonna roll this. And they call this a hot dog pillowcase. I'll show you why. But you're gonna roll this until it is in the middle of that quarter yard. So this is why they call it a hot dog pillowcase. This is your little hot dog right here, and here's the bun. You're gonna fold the bun over, again making this edge match with all the edges that you previously pinned, and you're going to just repin each pin. If I had a student struggling with this step, I definitely would not have them do that additional like accent layer, because right now I'm working with 5 layers of fabric that I'm making all be even. And if you eliminate 2 of those, that would be easier. Kids really like this too. I don't know about you, but I always have more than one pillow on my bed, and so I never have enough pillowcases, so this is really easy, really fast. And then, so we're ready to sew. At this point, this is when I would have a check-in. So I'd have the students come check in with me that their pinning was right. If I had a huge class, once I checked a student off that their pinning was right, they became expert for a day, and I had little special buttons that they wore, and they could check off on somebody else's thing too.
Ooh la la.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna sew. So.